Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Warning. On this podcast, we take the cases seriously, but not ourselves.
Although, we may attempt to lighten the mood at times.
Our episodes contain graphic descriptions that some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Question for the listeners. Neil, you're kind of exempt from this because I know...
I'll just fuck off then.
Well, I already know it doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
So if you speak multiple languages, yeah? Or even if it's just that you more so speak day to day in a second language, do you think in your first or second language, or is it interchangeable? I know you don't have a voice in your head.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying like you're exempt from it, but I want to know. What do you think? Or can you not even venture a guess because it's...
Well, the think in the first language.
But that's why I'm saying, so like, not just speaking multiple languages. Let's say you speak Spanish, but you live in Ireland and you speak English day to day.
Yeah, they think Spanish.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Even though day in, day out, they're hearing English. Or, like I said, is it interchangeable? So say they've just had a conversation with you or I, yeah?
Me and you.
Exactly. And it's in English. Does the thought immediately go in English or is it automatically translated to Spanish? Do you get what I'm saying? Basically, where this is coming from, we were watching The Traders yesterday. Fucking great show. Neil and I are all in.
I'm going for it.
You want to be actually on the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I went to apply. They've just stopped taking new, like it's closed at the minute. But they're doing it in Ireland now as well.
I'm so excited for the Irish one.
So I'm going to be applying for Ireland and UK. And I'll be going to be a traitor. I think I'd be a very good traitor.
We know you'd be a traitor. Yeah, so lads, look out. You never know. You might see Neil and the Traders. Guys, if you're not watching it, you got to fucking watch it. It's a great show. Yeah. We're a little bit late to the party with it. But oh my God.
Yeah, I've been really good so far at picking people. In the first season, I picked someone. They got very far, but they didn't win. They was very close to winning. And then the second one, I'd say I was in the second season, I think I was like 2 episodes in, and I went, they're winning.
Yeah, but you liked him from the get-go.
Yeah.
You like, first episode, you were like, all right, I see what he's doing.
It was just how smart he was.
Yeah.
He was literally like 3 steps ahead.
But you did say to me you want to go on the show. Do you actually think you'd want to go on to a reality or game show? Like, would you? You're very confident.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to put myself out there on telly, I don't think.
It's
I think
not
I'd
for
feel
me.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it's not just for me. It's not like an egotistical thing. It's promote the podcast.
Yeah, no, I get that. But it's very different to be, behind a mic, somewhat sheltered, and then be out on TV.
Yeah, but
making a show of yourself.
Before I was with you, I was out and about all the time.
Not on the television, you weren't? No. But that's actually the reason why I asked that question. It was someone on The Traders, and she said, so her first language is Welsh. And she said she thinks in Welsh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? So lads, if you speak a second language day to day, please let me know, because now I'm invested. I'm interested. I want to know.
Well, while you get on with that,
Mm-hmm.
we have a shout out.
We do indeed.
So this week we have Tracy. Now, we've already had a Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
If my memory is correct, I think I said trace me ass.
Young Tracy. That was a big one. We screamed at each other for a bit.
Trace me ass.
Sorry, just before we continue on with the newer Tracy,
mm-hmm.
Did anyone guess the reference, the young Tracy thing? I don't think anyone did.
Someone must have.
Yeah, they didn't tell me about it if they did.
So the one that came to mind when I saw this Tracy is, I was thinking, because we'd done a street name for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like street names. Ace. Because Ace is in Tracy.
T-Ace.
No, just Ace.
Just Ace.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tace. No.
Tace.
Ace.
Well, I thought of one. But you're going to have to bear with me on this.
Okay.
So Tracy. Yeah?
Is it another riddle?
I mean, if I just gave you the final name, yes.
Okay.
Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to trace.
Yes.
Track and trace. Shipment. Transporter. So Jason Statham.
You're going to call Tracy Jason Statham?
Thank you, Jason Statham. We appreciate you. What do you reckon?
Just the transporter.
If I had just gone in with Jason Statham, not one of yous would have had a notion.
I'd have got there in the end, I think.
Do you think?
No. Not a fucking hope.
I'm not even kidding on that one. I was sat there like, what's a good nickname for Tracy? And then for some reason, Track and Trace came into my head. I was like, how the fuck do I work that? And then I started thinking about transporter. So yeah, no, Jason Statham is our newest patron member.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Ace. So, episode 100. Gears a good one.
What do you consider a good one? None of these are good ones,
No.
Neil.
No, I might have worded that a bit wrong. Have it be something I can comment on a lot?
I think I've managed that. I think you're certainly going to have opinions, and there's a bit of room for not just your overall opinion on the matter, but what you believe to be true.
Okay. Right.
So with that said, today we're going to be talking about Dmitry and Natalia Baksheev.
Okay.
Now, this is a Russian case, so I apologise if some of the translations are a bit off or cause any misinterpretation of the events of the case. I also had to sift through a lot of misinformation and tabloid-style reporting to try and decipher fact from fiction.
Well, you're usually shy at pronunciations anyway. But I'm here to help.
Yeah. On the 11th of September, 2017, construction workers are out repairing roads on Rapina Street in Krasnodar in southern Russia. A worker finds a mobile phone by the side of the road. He checks the phone and finds some disturbing images. One photo is the severed head of a woman, and another shows a man posing as he holds a severed hand in his mouth.
Fucking hell. Don't you miss them days when you found a phone and you could just fucking, like, have a nose?
Just have a nose.
Yeah.
People aren't as quick
now they're all locked.
Well, also, people aren't as quick to lose a phone. They're holding on to that for dear life.
Oh, no, like where we work, there's always phones left. But they're always locked. Can't do shit with them. Like, if I found a phone, I'll always return it. But if I can have a nose, I'm having a nose.
I mean, we all do, because even if it's well-intentioned, if I need to find the owner, you're still going to have a quick nose through.
Yeah. I'm quicker to cut to messages rather than photos.
I've never found someone's phone, and like you said, it was unlocked, in more recent years. But even if I was, I don't know if I'd be as quick to go through the photos. I don't know if I want to find this. Do you know what I mean? I don't trust people.
Yeah, like if you went through the photos and you saw like a nuddy, and then you get in touch with them and you're like, got your phone, come and get it. You got to look that person in the eye after you've seen them like spread eagle or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, no good.
That's an awkward one.
The road worker who found the phone immediately brought it to the police station. The police checked the SIM card and find that it was registered to a man named Dmitry Baksheev. So, who was Dmitry Baksheev? Dmitry was born on the 28th of January 1982. He worked as a repairman and a general maintenance worker for an apartment building.
Nothing wrong with that. Maintenance job.
He also had a criminal history which involved robbery and car theft, but it had since been expunged.
What's that? Sponged?
Expunged. Do you know when you're younger and you commit a crime, it's kind of wiped from your record?
Oh, okay, yeah.
As an infant, Dmitry was placed in an orphanage, and at the age of 3, he was adopted by a couple named Svetlana and Vladimir Baksheev. After the adoption of Dmitry, they would go on to have a daughter named Katya. During his childhood, Dmitry is said to have been a quieter child who had a love of animals and in particular dogs. But not just the family's 2 Pekingese dogs. I get the sense that Dmitry was a bit of a can I pet that dog kind of guy.
In everyone?
I mean, I certainly am. But he was kind of like, if there was a neighborhood dog, he would kind of gravitate towards. You know, like I kind of prefer dogs to people.
Yeah.
I mean, you like dogs, but you're more that way with cats, I would say.
Well, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when I was a young lad, down the road, there were this massive manor. Huge fucking house. I think it's still there now. And they had a dog, a black Labrador called Brooke.
Brooke.
Big fat yoke. It was overweight. So if one of them was out like trimming edges, and that ain't a euphemism, if they were out trimming edges, they'd just have Brooke. You know, it was that lazy, it weren't going to run off.
Yeah.
So just have it loose. That's how I came across Brooke.
Say Brooke more.
After that, I used to go down to the house. Like, this sounds fucking weird saying it now. They could have done anything to me. I used to go down to the house and sit in the garden, just playing with Brooke.
I take it this was before you got attacked by a dog and the anxiety and fear set in.
No.
No.
No, it'd have been after.
It was just, you had a connection with Brooke.
I'd have been about 10, 11. I was about 6 or 7 when I got attacked by a German Shepherd. It wasn't really an attack. It was just a traumatizing... Yeah. Fucking nearly got me down the slide, the little shit. For anyone who doesn't know the story, I was on the park playing football with some lads. There was a bloke walking a German Shepherd, but he didn't have it on the lead. And the dog ran over to chase the ball. So one of the lads kicked the ball to me. So the dog started running towards me because I had the ball. I legged it. It chased after me. And to get away from it, I ran up a slide. And as I was going up the slide, it nipped my ass.
Brooke would have never done that to you.
No.
Anyway, like we said, Dmitry loved dogs. And a bit of a, as I would assume, a kind of pet that dog type of guy. This was possibly down to his struggles socially. And he found more comfort in his canine companions.
You.
I'm not great socially. Very, very awkward lads. And the thing with Dmitry, those he did choose to socialise with maybe were not the best to keep in your company. A lot of the people he chose to fraternise with were fond of a drink, shall we say. Although Dmitry himself wasn't a big drinker. When Dmitry was just 15 years old, his mother passed away not long after being diagnosed with cancer. Given how quickly his mother passed away following her diagnosis, and not that it's ever going to be an easy thing to deal with, but the family really were not afforded any time to get their heads around the situation.
Yeah.
And following this, his relationship with his father began to disintegrate.
I've often thought about that. So not looking at it as the family, yeah? Which would you find easier? Finding out you have cancer, but it's like, we're giving you 14 months. Or finding out you've got cancer and they're like, you've only got like 2 months. Would you prefer to just be like, okay, I've only got 2 months. At least it's not going to drag out as long.
Yeah, I really don't know how to answer that. Like I said, either way, it's incredibly difficult. I think it's going to depend on the person.
Yeah.
I think some people need that time to adjust, whereas other people, it's more time to stress and kind of become more anxious about.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's some people, they'll get diagnosed with cancer and they're like, I'm not bothered about doing chemo. I'm not bothered. Like, if I die, I die. I'm not doing any treatment.
It's in no way the same thing. But I'm just, the anxiety level thing. Do you remember when we confirmed that we were going to go on stage at CrimeCon?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh no, it's good, Megan. You've got loads of time to think about it, get your head around it. And I went, no, Neil, I've got loads of time to panic and stress about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like our different thought processes, which, like, I understand you're better to be prepared, but it's still just the way my fucking brain works.
I was fine until I stepped on the stage.
I was not fine the entire time. Back to Dmitry.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dmitry, I'm sure, was struggling to cope with the devastating reality that he was essentially orphaned for a second time by the age of 15. His personal care began to decline, with those around him describing him as being unkempt. He was associating with perhaps a more unsavoury group of people, and there's some criminal activity. But were his crimes more of a needs must? If he was now on his own and in dire straits, was it a case of desperate times call for desperate measures?
And I think I remember unkempt is like loppy bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we had a disagreement about it.
Yeah, you argued that the word was unkept.
I still think it's unkept. I will still use the word unkept.
I think you can say unkept, but that doesn't mean that unkempt isn't a word. A few years down the line, Dmitry meets a woman named Natalia. And by 2012, the two were married and living together in Natalia's accommodation at the Krasnodar Military Aviation Institute. Now, I'm not entirely sure of how they met and got together, but I would assume it's safe to say most likely through their mutual drinking buddies. As a couple, they were seen as somewhat reclusive. The dynamic of their relationship seemed to be that Dmitry was quite submissive to Natalia and her wishes. She definitely appeared to be the more dominant of the two. But other than that, nothing particularly stood out about them. Natalia was born on the 25th of January 1975, and she was raised by her mother and grandmother. But just as with Dmitry, Natalia lost her mother at quite a young age, and her grandmother became her primary guardian. As a teenager, Natalia knew she wanted to work in healthcare, and she would go on to become a senior nurse at the Krasnodar Military Aviation Institute. She had previously been married and had one son named Nikolai. Now, just to clarify, Dmitry did seem to have some form of relationship with Natalia's son, but by the time Dmitry and Natalia were cohabiting, her son had already moved to another dormitory on the base. In relation to her marriage, Natalia was widowed, and following the death of her first husband, Oleg, at the age of 32, Natalia began to struggle with alcoholism. Quote,
So he just went from one pisshead to another?
Well, Dmitry doesn't really drink.
No, that's what I mean. But, like, he was surrounded by... You said he was knocking about with pissheads.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's married one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quote, I couldn't cope with my husband's death. I had breakdowns. But our society is like this. If you make a mistake, you can't get up. From what I gather, Natalia was more of a binge drinker, and she stated that she could go 8 to 9 months without touching a drink. She said that she was aware of her alcohol abuse and that she had sought help.
That's like a Brit.
But I think binge drinking is quite prevalent in the UK.
Yeah. We can go without it, but when we do, we go all out.
Yeah.
And get into some right states.
Yeah. Whereas in Ireland, we're just kind of perpetually pissed up.
Yeah.
Natalia said that she had been in intensive care 3 times and had even fallen into a coma. Due to her alcoholism, Natalia lost her job, and because of this, she didn't have a right to live in the dormitory anymore. But Natalia and Dmitry did not want to vacate the property, and the issue regarding their accommodation was brought before the courts. Quote, they violate the rules of residence. The defendants abuse alcohol, create scandals that turn into fights and brawls between themselves and other residents, and interfere with the normal rest of those living in the dormitory.
Fair point.
Fair point well made. It was ruled that they had to leave the property, but that didn't bother Natalia or Dmitry, and they continued to live there while filing an appeal, and even after that failed, they just continued to sort of drag out the process.
To be honest, that's what I'd do.
Would you?
I'd just keep appealing it and just keep living there, and it's like, you can't kick me out. I'm appealing it.
Well, in reference to them attempting to evict the couple, it was said, quote, Natalia is a scandalous woman, aggressive, so we did not risk it. I have to be honest with you, I really hope that one day someone describes me as a scandalous woman. So that's kind of the backstory as to who Dmitry and Natalia are and how they came to be a couple. Let's get back to the discovery of these gruesome pictures. Once Dmitry is identified and taken into custody, he's questioned about the photos on his phone. Dmitry tells the police that he was not responsible for the murder, but that he had found the body parts in the woods and simply decided to take them home with him.
And posing photos?
Yeah, he said...
Of him holding eared?
Yeah, he said that he photographed the remains before placing them in a bucket of cold water before going to bed. The next day is when he took the pictures with the hand in his mouth. Now, can I just say as well, the picture with the hand in the mouth. So it's a severed hand, and how he's holding the hand in his mouth is at the wrist. He's holding the wrist in his mouth, so the actual severed bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, didn't matter if it would fucking end at pinky. Like,
No, it's still absolutely fucking brutal and horrific. But it's...
So I didn't do it, but I just came across it in the woods, took it home and stuck it in my mouth.
Lessen the blow a little bit. Didn't do the murder, lads. I just did some fucked up shit.
Well, worst case scenario, well, not worst case, least if he's telling the truth, he's tampered with evidence.
Yeah. These are human remains, Dmitry. He told the police that he took these photos as a, quote, keepsake. Now, if you hadn't guessed it, Dmitry was said to have been talking absolute nonsense during the interrogation, but he would eventually admit to the murder.
Oh, he wasn't telling the truth?
It is shocking. It is. But, yeah. Given the severity of this crime, the most experienced investigators, forensic investigators, and psychologists were brought in to work on the case. Along with the help of staff and students, a search was conducted of the military school dormitory where Dmitry and Natalia resided. Now, their home was in disarray. Just shit everywhere. Clothes, boxes, various items just strewn about their home.
That's not shocking. Really?
I didn't say it was.
No, I'm just saying, like, it'd be more shocking if the house was pristine.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people like to say, like, oh, it was like a hoarder's home and all this. I don't think you can go that far. It was just very messy.
Yeah.
Very, very messy.
Yeah. If you're going to put a wrist in your gob, you're not going to be bothered about a tidy house.
Also found in their home was a bag which contained various items, including an ID, which belonged to the woman in the photographs. But the kitchen was definitely where some of the most disturbing discoveries were made.
That's usually a bathtub, isn't it? When there's dismemberment.
Say it again?
What?
Dismemberment?
No. Why? Dismemberment?
I feel like you gave up on the word halfway through and just committed.
Dismemberment.
Dismemberment.
Dismemberment. Is it wrong? Dismemberment. Yeah.
Dismemberment.
Dismemberment. I am saying it. I know I'm saying it.
Fragments of human remains were found jarred in a saline solution. Frozen meat and other foods that were unidentifiable were also found in the kitchen. Later testing would confirm that the remains belonged to the woman in the photos. The remains were dissected in what was described as a, quote, homemade or makeshift manner. Police also found a wig on the kitchen countertop, which, given the nature of these crimes, I bet they shit themselves before realising it was a wig. And although not a crime in itself, the fridge was a shit show. It was filthy and just sort of set the tone for what they were uncovering in this residence. In one photo, you can see that the fridge is just filled with shit. And it looks as though there's a raw chicken just sort of lobbed in there amongst other food, including an uncovered bowl of God knows what. Like the chicken leg is literally resting over this bowl of like soup or stew or whatever it is.
People do out to try and cover up the smell of decomp though.
It's a raw chicken.
Yeah.
Like there's no cover on it. It's just like as if they've grabbed the leg and just hoofed it in there.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at? This is no laughing matter. Salmonella is no joke, Neil.
You said chicken, not salmon.
Salmonella. What you get
from...
right.
Yeah.
There was also human remains found in the basement of the dormitory, and on the facility near the bins, they found a woman's head in a bucket, which had been scalped.
Oh, so it weren't a wig?
No, don't worry. In the kitchen, that was a wig.
Right.
Her scalp would be found near to the head, near to where the head was found.
Okay.
Now, in regards to the scalping, they of course asked Dmitry why he did this, to which he responded, quote, "I just did something stupid."
But
you scalped a person.
he did more than that.
Well, he did more than that, but this was specifically about the scalping. Why is that the "I just did something stupid"?
He's mentally ill. Has to be.
Following the gruesome discovery, an acquaintance of the couple stated, quote, "I never thought that this quiet man killed people. It felt like he was simply brainwashed." Which, that leads us back to Natalia's domination over Dmitry and their relationship, which seems to have triggered the murder. On the 8th of September 2017, Dmitry and Natalia were out drinking one night on Castello Street with 35-year-old Yelena Vakushieva. There doesn't seem to be that much information released about Yelena, other than that we know she was born on the 5th of March 1982 in Amutninsk.
Can I make an assumption?
Work away.
So, Yelena, does she resemble Natalia?
No.
Oh. I was thinking Dmitry had a row with Natalia and then was like, right, I'm going to find someone who looks like you and do terrible things.
Well, they were all out drinking together that night.
I had this assumption before you said that.
Okay. And you just disregarded what I said after the fact.
Yeah. It's all I had.
No, so what happened was, during that evening, Natalia felt that Yelena was paying a bit too much attention to Dmitry. Fearing that Yelena was a possible threat to her, Natalia ordered her husband to kill Yelena.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was a bit dramatic.
What, it weren't convincing?
Well, I mean, we are talking about something shocking, but it just seemed a bit... You just told me you weren't listening. And now you're like horrified at this detail.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to be Natalia telling him to do it. I didn't think that would come in.
Dmitry grabs his knife and stabs Yelena twice in the chest. Now, if you're worried that your partner is or potentially could be unfaithful or disloyal to you, don't you think them simply agreeing to kill for you would be enough? Why would they have to follow through on the action?
Yeah, what's with, like, Andin Gobbin that?
What?
With Andin Gobbin that, like, is that her who wanted the photos? Natalia?
Well, that's kind of after the fact. I'm talking about the actual murder. So if it's a jealousy thing,
yeah,
that it's kind of like, you're paying my fella a bit too much attention and I don't like this. So if you're that delusional that you think, oh, well, I have to kill you now.
Yeah.
If he's that quick to go, yes, I'll kill her because she's attracted to me or whatever, isn't that enough? Why would you actually go ahead and do it?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
I think he's proven himself. If we're going by this logic, I think he's proven himself that he's loyal to you and only you.
Yeah. Like, couldn't you just tell her to fuck off?
You think? Following the murder of Yelena, Dmitry then dismembers her body. He left some of the parts of her body in their home and disposed of the rest of her remains.
Not very smart, is he?
Well, what do you want him to do with the remains?
Not keep him in his ass. Like, get rid of him.
When the news of Dmitry and Natalia's crimes hit the media, the story began to morph and speculations along with people's imaginations began to run rampant.
What's Natalia's crime?
Well, it's her home that human remains were found.
Yeah, but I could tell you to jump off a cliff. You do it. I haven't killed you.
She's also told Dmitry to murder this woman.
Yeah, but like I've just said...
That's still a crime deal.
Is it?
Yes.
Someone's got their own fucking brain. They can make their own mind up.
But it's still conspiracy to commit murder, no?
I suppose.
It's still the improper disposal of human remains, no?
I suppose.
It's still harbouring a criminal, no?
I suppose.
Anyway, rumours, speculations, running rampant.
Mm-hmm.
There was talks of how they were a family of cannibals, that there was possibly 7 victims, but that they had confessed to there being over 30 victims of their crimes, that they had been supplying human meat to others and making them unwilling participants, and that they had been practicing cannibalism for the last 20 years. It was also said that they would sedate people using Coravol and then skin them alive.
It's just people talking shit.
Well, I mean, this is what's kind of up for debate. I personally believe there's a lot of speculation and misinformation involved in this case.
Yeah.
There was also said to have been a video tutorial on cannibalism found in their home, and also recipes for human meat.
Well, that don't mean because you can get them books. I don't have one myself, but you can get them.
On the dark web or whatever, I'd say it's not difficult to get your hands on them.
Mm.
So something that fueled these speculations and rumours, it seems to stem from a photograph which was found in their home. The picture in question shows a severed head on a platter accompanied by oranges and a lemon placed over the person's nose. And this photo was dated the 28th of December, 1999.
Oh.
So people were quick to assume that Dmitry and Natalia had been committing murder and acts of cannibalism for nearly 2 decades, which doesn't seem to line up with what we know of their time together. It would also mean that Dmitry would have been just 17 years of age.
Fucking hell.
So, of course, it doesn't mean it's completely out of the realm of possibility, but certainly adds doubt, I would argue.
Mm.
If we were to go with this theory, it's horrifying for the obvious reasons of cannibalism and murder, of course. But also, if it was found to be true, then we'd have to consider the predatory nature of their relationship. It would mean that Natalia had been involved with a 17-year-old boy as a 24-year-old woman.
Well, that's illegal. So they can nick her for that.
Well, that's just at the time of the photograph. How long would she have been grooming him to join her in murder and cannibalism if that was the case?
Yeah.
It doesn't ring true to me, and I personally don't believe this is the case. I don't think they were linked back then. I also don't think just because the photograph was in their possession that it means they took the photograph. So, in reference to them being linked to 7 other murders, now, I don't know if there was a strong connection or just not enough evidence, or if this was a case of jumping to link murders and close multiple cases in one fell swoop.
Mm.
But what we do know is that police would later state, although they were looking into other cold cases with, quote, similar features, it seems that there was no evidence to support the claim that they were serial cannibals or killers. And remember, the remains found in the home were only belonging to Yelena. In regards to the claim that they had been trying to supply others with human meat for consumption, Natalia had worked in the kitchen on the military base. So that doesn't look great.
No.
She had also applied for a job at a restaurant in 2010. The owner of the restaurant would later say that he can still clearly recall the interaction. He remembered her wearing a white dress with a deep neckline. He said that when she arrived for the interview, she sat down and was full of questions, but not in regards to her wages or the conditions of the job. She was curious as to who supplied the restaurant with their meat, fish and eggs.
What was she going to do with eggs?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, when you're adding the other bits in, it kind of just seems like a supply issue.
Yeah.
She's just curious. He said that she asked if he would like to be able to purchase meat at a lower price. He also stated that Natalia hadn't arrived alone and had noticed Dmitry waiting outside while Natalia was interviewed. So
basically they were Sweeney Todding it.
I mean, again, it's if you believe that, but there were other rumours about Natalia baking pies with human meat in them.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
I was thinking if it were in Yorkshire, sausage rolls, no one would bat an eyelid.
No.
They'd just shovel it in.
Yeah. I mean, going by that, there could, in theory, been a lot of unwilling participants of cannibalism in Yorkshire.
Yeah. Lob it in sausage rolls.
Will we try and get the ball rolling on that rumour?
No.
What?
No.
So, in reference to the restaurant owner and all this, like, again, I don't know how true.
Yeah.
Or if it's jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, possibly she did go for an interview, but it's the link of the restaurant thing which makes people jump at the story.
Yeah,
and it's, oh my God. Also, if we are to believe that there was multiple victims of Dmitry and Natalia, it's thought that Dmitry used dating sites as a way to meet women, which, of course, could be something, but it also seems odd that they would use this method to lure women, given that Natalia appears to be quite controlling and jealous.
I was just about to say that's entrapment.
Well, it's not just that, it's just I don't know why they would use that method. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like how that's the big issue here is the entrapment.
Well, no, it's just they ain't got a fighting chance, have they? They meet a guy on a dating site and then they get butchered up because they hit on the bloke they're meeting from the dating site.
I gotta be honest with you. Now, I've never used a dating site, but if I found myself in the position of being single again, I don't think I would. They kind of scare me a bit.
No, I wouldn't go on a dating site. I don't think. I
don't need to be running to Dmitry or Natalia. Who would it be if it was Irish? I don't need to be running to Mick and Nikita. What would you pick for Sheffield?
Sutcliffe.
Well, I meant just pick like some very bog standard names. You'd be running into Leslie and
No, it'd be Glenn and Sandra.
Why Glenn?
I don't know. It's a common name.
Do you know many Glens from Sheffield?
I know a few.
Oh, okay. I apologise. So, with all of this said, a huge amount of the information revolving around this case just seems to raise more questions rather than deliver answers. It also triggers further curiosity. And what is even more curious is that law enforcement were the ones to release a lot of this information to the media.
Which, I thought countries like that held a lot of information.
The information on this case is very kind of patchy. There's been so much of the speculation released, and then after the fact, not a huge amount. We've had the police saying, look, we've no reason to believe they're connected to any other murders, but it was them who initially put out this narrative.
Okay.
And then, of course, once you give someone an inch, they're going to take a mile. The media were loving it, and everyone else has kind of followed afterwards. If you read an article about a woman who's making human pies.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you got the poor victim's family.
Exactly.
Like.
And I mean, for them, they're never, not that you'd want to know the details, but you're never going to know the true extent of what actually happened.
Yeah.
You know? It makes me wonder, was there some truth to the rumours? And possibly it would have become too big of a case to try. And they realised the panic it was/would cause. Or was it all just bollocks? On one hand, it does seem very bizarre that they would keep body parts in jars and take grotesque photographs of bodies. And this is over a drink-fueled altercation which stemmed from jealousy. It's very severe. And fuck me, you'd see that kind of altercation every other night in town. It just doesn't seem like it was their first rodeo. But on the other side of that argument, could it be that they had murderous, cannibalistic fantasies and it was that they just finally followed through with it?
That's what I think it is. I think they've had the interest for years. But I think this is the first one.
Well, that would explain keeping the remains and the photographs. And remember, Dmitry had previously stated that he took the photographs as a, quote, keepsake.
Yeah.
As well as the photo dated back to 1999. Could they have been a part of a community of people who also had these fantasies and that they were given the photograph by someone who had acted on it? I don't know what you gift cannibals. Is that a normal thing to gift? I don't know. And if that is the case, it could also line up with Natalia's alleged strange behaviour that the restaurant owner had claimed.
Yeah.
It may not have been her killing people, or Dmitry, but she may have known others who do and either wanted to profit from it or enjoyed the idea of people unwillingly participating in cannibalism. We also have to consider the alleged confession of 30 murders. Could this have been a false confession due to pressure from the police? Or, if it is true, and the fact that this murder or murders took place on a military premises, was this enough for authorities to want to sweep it under the rug?
Right. Okay.
I don't know. But whatever the truth of the matter is, the trial was about the murder of one person and one person only, Yelena. Now, are you ready for this one, Neil?
Okay.
Natalia received a psychological evaluation, and she was determined to be sane. Dmitry was also to be evaluated, but since he was suffering from tuberculosis, this hindered the examination due to the effects that the infection can have on the brain. Which, I find it hard to believe that a person can commit crimes of this nature and be considered sane.
No, you're mental.
Well, unless it's a case of temporary insanity due to illness or maybe drug-induced psychosis.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of hard to see that.
It can't be. No. When she's sober, she's completely sane.
Mm.
But once she's had a drink, no. Like, if I get pissed, I might do something stupid like, I don't know, I bet I could run through that wall. Or
yeah, I could jump that. But regardless of my uneducated and arguably unwarranted opinions, Natalia was found to be sane and she was accused of incitement of murder. And she did admit to this, even writing out a letter that she read in court. Quote, "They asked me how I could not see what was found in our house. Someone else's underwear, nails. But I did not hide anything. From when he was detained, the police were with me. I did not remove anything. Did not interfere with the investigation. I helped out as much as I could until I ended up in a psychiatric hospital. They said that I showed these body parts, but I could not do this. At that time, I was in the hospital. They convinced me that my husband was a maniac, a cannibal. At that same time, they never mentioned how I ran around the cemetery with the investigative team at night, how they dug up my friend's grave. I had to show them some bones." Although some believe that Natalia actively participated in the murder, she maintains that she was not present during the murder and that the first time she actually saw Yelena was in the photographs she was shown during the proceedings.
I think she's pissing in my pocket and telling me it's raining.
Meaning you think she was actively participating in the murder, or what was previously said about her inciting murder?
No, I think she was active in the murder.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just trying to get out in it.
Do you know what I'm quicker to believe? I think Natalia wasn't involved in the actual murder. I think she told Dmitry to do it. Dmitry committed the murder. But I think both her and Dmitry were involved in the dismemberment and disposal of her body. Oh,
well, I think he's the one who killed. Yeah, he definitely did the killing, but she was just as involved.
Well, in February of 2019, Natalia was found guilty of incitement to murder. So, not murder, incitement.
Mm-hmm.
She was sentenced to 10 years in a penal colony and a further 1.5 years in prison. Now, if you're unfamiliar with penal colonies, this is when a prisoner is exiled to a corrective facility, which is similar to prison, but with forced labour. They can consist of excruciatingly long hours, incredibly harsh conditions, and are known for their poor and often brutal treatment of prisoners, and also between prisoners.
You'd rather be in prison?
Yes. And given this, I can understand why Natalia has attempted to appeal her sentence.
Right.
Now, conditions are said to be improving in these facilities, but look, still doesn't sound great, does it?
Yeah, like, people make out that when you go in prison, everyone's looking to fucking shank someone and all this.
Or dookie bomb you. Is that what it was?
Oh, it's called a Glock dookie.
Glock dookie, but beg your pardon.
Yeah, it's just a bag of... It's a
bag of
shit, spunk, piss,
Like a shot.
vomit, blood, like anybody, spit.
Just the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing more and more videos now of, prisoners getting interviewed once they've been released.
Mm-hmm.
Like they might be on a podcast and a lot of them are saying, they'll be talking about someone who, so young offenders is definitely worse. I don't give a shit what anyone says. A young offenders is worse than a jail. The younger prisoners tend to, say if they get transferred from the young offenders to the prison, they'll come in hot and heavy, thinking that's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a lot of these people getting...
But you're going from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hearing a lot of these prisoners, saying, I pulled him to one side and going, just chill out, do your time.
Calm down.
Stop trying to fight everyone.
Steady on.
Just relax, do your time. And I'm hearing that a lot. People saying, just don't mess with anyone else. You can talk to people and stuff like that, but you don't need to be fighting people all the time. Just relax.
Yeah, you don't need to constantly be trying to prove yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fucking get on with it, lad. So, yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I'd much rather be in prison than a penal colony. But I'm sure I don't need to tell you about penal colonies, Niels. The Brits used to be very fond of them, didn't they? No comment?
I had nothing to do with it, so...
I thought you'd say that. Dmitry was tried separately, and on the 28th of June 2019, he was sentenced to 12 years and 2 months, along with psychiatric treatment.
12 years?
And 2 months.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah? Would you like to comment on that, or...?
That's worse than the UK in here.
It's shocking. It's not just murder, it's the dismemberment, the photos, the possible cannibalization of the situation.
Yeah. See what he did there. That's horrendous.
Not even 15 years, not even a rounded up 15 years. 12 years, 2 months. What's the 2 months? Was the 2 months? Because I didn't actually see what it was for. It just said that was the sentence. Is the 2 months for the cannibalism or dismemberment? Because if so, that seems a little bit low.
The 12 years for the murder's low.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Madness.
Well, Dmitry didn't actually end up serving his full sentence, because on the 16th of February 2020, Dmitry passed away at the age of 38. Although Dmitry was said to have been receiving treatment for tuberculosis, his cause of death was said to be due to several chronic illnesses, which I believe one of them was type 1 diabetes, which was going untreated. Now, I was trying to find further articles to corroborate this, but I did read that there was some shady shit surrounding his death, which resulted in a doctor being convicted of negligence and Natalia being rewarded 300,000 rubles for the death of Dmitry.
What?
Yeah.
I think that money should have gone to the victim's family.
Well, that's actually a very low amount. I'm not arguing against you, I agree with you. But 300,000 is less than €3,500 or just over 3,700 USD. She was going for 5 million though, which would have been around €54,000 or just over 62,000 USD.
But I don't care if it's 20 quid.
Yeah.
She shouldn't get it. Victim's family.
I mean, I do agree with you, but I'd love to know more about that doctor and the negligence. But, and again, I haven't looked into it in depth to comment as such, but some of the things I was reading was saying that it's quite common in some of the prisons there that there is negligence and not proper care.
Yeah, the doctor's like, fuck him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I think this goes without saying, but this is a frustrating case as we really don't know the truth behind it. And it's made even harder to try and get to the truth by the fact that some people seem to want to propagate and seek out the gory details. Almost as if they want it to be true that Dmitry and Natalia murdered, mutilated and cannibalized 30 plus individuals. Is the certainty that they did this to one person not horrifying enough? With that said, that is the case of Dmitry and Natalia Baksheev, also known as the Cannibal Couple, or the Krasnodar Cannibals? Neil, thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, brutal case. I believe that was the only victim.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an obsession they had, and that was the one they did. Because if they did 30 others, where's the photos?
Mm-hmm.
Say they'd done 30 of them and got away with it, they were very sloppy with how they got caught.
Yeah.
I think they'd just done the one. They should have got life. Fucking 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
She played a part in it more than she's making out. Like I said, how did I put it?
Well, Natalia's halfway through her sentence now. You know?
Yeah.
When you put it like that, it's like, that's insane.
Yeah, like I said before, she's pissing in my pocket and trying to tell me it's raining. But yeah, stay off the dating sites.
That's your advice. That's what you're getting. That's what you're taking from this case, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Something else I wanted to mention in reference to this case. It has been theorized that Dmitry may have accidentally, on purpose, lost his phone in hopes of being discovered. What do you think about that?
No.
No?
I think he's just a fucking idiot.
I'm going to show you a picture of Dmitry after this. When you look at Dmitry, do you remember when we were talking about Richard Chase and you kind of looked in his eyes and it's like, my God, that lad has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Dmitry is exactly the same. You can just see it in his face that there's so much going on. And when I thought of that, I thought that is a possibility, particularly if it is true that Natalia was so dominating and controlling over him.
So you'd rather go to prison than be married to Natalia?
Well, I'm just saying, if that was the case, but that doesn't answer the question of him taking the photo of the hand in the mouth the next day, unless Natalia maybe had requested it or just he was seriously suffering from mental illness. Which, of course, is not out of the question. He didn't end up getting the evaluation, as far as I can see, due to his illness.
Yeah.
Dealing with tuberculosis. I did read about a theory that Dmitry was influenced by Hannibal Lecter. But the only reason this seems to be a thought from what I have read was that Hannibal Lecter appears in the novel Red Dragon. And Dmitry owned a t-shirt with a dragon on it.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, look, lads, I understand. You're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make fucking sense, but...
You're clutching at sticks there.
Yes. I was also going to ask you this question, but you kind of already answered it. But I suppose just to sum up, because you went a little bit back and forth. Do you think Natalia actively participated in the murder or not?
Yes. Yes.
The actual murder?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, it's just because she wasn't found guilty of that. She wasn't found guilty of murder.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
I personally don't believe she did. I believe she ordered for her to be murdered, and I believe she was involved in the dismemberment, but I don't believe she was active in the murder. But
so you think that Natalia was like, kill her and bring her on a silver platter?
Well, not in those words. I believe that Natalia wanted her gone. Yeah. But once she was happy for Dmitry to commit the act of murder, she was okay to get involved with the hiding the crime.
Okay.
Getting rid of that. That's what I believe. Concealing the crime, should I say. Not very well, Natalia, but, you know, you did your best.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what?
I'm just taking in what you've said.
Do you agree or disagree, or do you need more time?
No, I disagree. I think she was involved with it all.
Okay. Right, so that's the case out the way. But lads, before we move on to the oddity, we just wanted to take a minute to thank you all. Whether this is the first episode you've listened to or you've been here since the start, you guys have all contributed, helped us along the way, encouraged us and supported us. And you've made this podcast what it is. So seriously, thank you all so much, and here's to the next 100.
Where's my thank you for editing the 100 episodes?
Excuse me?
Well, I
research, write, and fucking tell the case. You cheeky fucking swine.
But you're thanking them. They've just listened. I've grafted.
They've just listened.
No, we've had some amazing support, pretty much from launching. You know, we met, you know, a couple of independent podcasters who'd been, you know, they'd already been going quite a while, so they were giving us advice on what not to do, what to do, and then some of the listeners, like the bit I was looking forward to the most with the podcast was interacting with the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And once that started, that was me. Like,
you were loving it.
Yeah, I just love the interaction. I love hearing someone quote us, which it's funny because we'll put the episode out and then a week later someone's quoting it and I can't remember saying it. I don't know if they're taking the piss.
Did anyone else notice how I said, like, thank you all, you know, whether it's the first episode or you've been here since the start? And Neil's like, yes, some of you. Because it is true. The amount of people who interact, and it's, you know, we've got this kind of community among all of us, and it's so lovely. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I mean, even saying that, there's loads of listeners who, you know, they don't talk to us, they don't communicate, but we know you're there and you're listening, and you know, we fucking appreciate it.
Well, I was going to say that, but you cut me off.
Were you going to say that?
Yeah, I was going to say, even if you don't interact, you know,
okay,
it's still a big part of the podcast.
I felt like you were going to shit on them.
No.
Like you were just kind of talking about the people who talk to you. My choice of listener. My favourite mortal.
No, but cheers, and we'll get another 100 done.
I've already said that, but I think you're just kind of ripping me off now, if I'm honest with you, Neil. I think this has took a turn.
Right. The 100th Oddity.
The 100th Oddity. You know, because I'm such a good person, I am actually going to throw it to you, Neil, and give you a choice between oddities.
Okay.
Don't say, I'll never give you anything, you know? I'm going to give you the choice between just a kind of a more lighter story. You know, because that was a particularly tough case. There's a lot of gruesome shit there.
Yeah.
Or do you want a medical one?
Story. I hate them medical ones. They're fucking disgusting.
Why? Do you not find it interesting?
No, not at all.
Oh.
No.
I know where I stand. So, a call for help. On the 31st of July of this year, 2 hikers were out, you guessed it, hiking at Boulder Fields in Okanagan, British Columbia. As they make their way through the trail, they hear something. The sound wasn't close enough to make out what was being said, but it was clear that it was a person shouting out. After hearing the person cry out multiple times, they decide to call 911 and a search and rescue team was sent out along with 2 RCMP officers and their drone team. When search and rescue arrive on site, they split into 2 teams, one to search through the woods and the other to search the roads. As they make their way through Boulder Fields, they manage to locate the person whose cries had echoed through the woods. It was a man who had been camping on his own. But he wasn't in distress, it was actually quite the opposite.
Oh.
What? Where are you going with this?
Tossing him sent off.
No. There's nothing sinister here, Neil.
I didn't stick something up his ass or...
No.
Okay.
This man was actually having the time of his life, hanging out on his own, and the noises that had been heard was just him belting out some classic Nickelback. He was, quote, singing his heart out to the trees, blissfully unaware that the acoustics of Boulder Fields had turned his tent-side concert into an accidental distress signal.
Fuck's sake.
Emergency or not, the rescue team were, of course, relieved that the man was okay, and they thanked the hikers for taking action. They went on to say, quote, he wasn't in trouble unless you count his singing. And remember, our services are always free, and the money you saved could be spent on singing lessons.
Fuck's sake.
I'm sure slightly embarrassing for the man, but what a fitting tribute to Nickelback.
See, I thought it was going to be either like having a wank or he's got something stuck up his ass. And then when you were like, no, it's nothing sinister, I thought you were going to say he was sat watching friends or fucking something on his phone.
Like clapping to the beat.
No, laughing.
Oh.
I thought you were going to be saying you were laughing.
I mean, it wouldn't be as funny if it wasn't for Nickelback.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, Nickelback are great. They get so much shit.
They have a couple of good songs, but I don't know why all of a sudden it were like a terrible thing to like Nickelback.
Yeah. It's just one of those internet things, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it stuck, and you know, people getting bullied at school for listening to Nickelback. Like,
You know what? Justice for Nickelback.
yeah.
If this was you in the situation, what tunes do you reckon you'd be belting out?
Luke Combs.
Mm.
One Too Many.
You think
Hurricane.
You think Luke Combs be the one for you that would actually get a search and rescue team sent out?
That's the one I sing along to the most. The loudest.
Mm.
I don't know. Could be Spice Girls. Depends what mood I'm in. I know what yours would be, because you're listening to him every day for the past 6 fucking months. Him. Lads, I don't know if I've already said this, so every single day she's listening to this band called Him. Nothing wrong with that. They only have about 5 fucking songs.
That's not true. You can't even name 5 of their songs.
I don't want to. I
No,
don't
my
want to
point
know.
being, no, because we've had this conversation multiple. You actually did this on the hot sauce video, I believe,
Did I?
if I'm not mistaken. Yes, just because you don't know something, and you know, again, I also said this on the hot sauce video. I'm not going to have some country loving hick come to me and be like, all of our rock band songs sound the same. Fuck you.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of country music is very similar sounding.
That's not true at all. That's false.
No, but to me, a lot of it's... I know there's obviously, of course, variety. Luke Combs, you said.
I think you're just deflecting.
Luke Combs has a lot of variety as an artist, I would argue.
Mm.
But generally speaking, a lot of country songs are kind of very similar. There's not a lot of variety to my ears.
Mm.
So...
Am I wrong?
I think my point is go fuck yourself.
Am I wrong? If them hikers came across you, would it or would it not be him?
I mean, like, I do love them, but I don't know if I have the same vocal range with their type of songs. You know, they go up and fucking down.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
My voice is pretty shit. It's kind of a bit deeper and
yeah.
I mean, I could do some of the hymn songs. There's one that's very deep, and you were just like, "What the fuck is this?" Remember? You were very upset by that.
Fuck him.
What about a bit of Whitney? That's one that I would attempt to hit the high note, and I would definitely be sending out distress signals.
About
For
Carey.
you, I think for you it would be Celine.
Who?
Celine Dion. That's where you would be really getting search and rescue out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favourite one?
It's all coming back to me now.
That's the song that would get you in a bit of bother.
Probably. The problem is, if someone was out hiking and they came across me listening to Celine Dion or fucking Luke Combs or something like that, they'd come to help me and they'd see I'm okay and they'd be like, "Oh, sorry about that." But with you listening to him or something like that, they'd be like, "Oh, do you hear that distress signal?" And then they'll run over and they'll be like, "She's obviously unstable. She's out in the middle of nowhere listening to that. She needs our help."
You think they're going to go for like a satanic panic type of thing?
Yes.
Well, you know, I think you're a chavvy bastard who just doesn't understand my type of music.
Oh, okay.